Now back to Property Source Radio on Sports Radio 950 ESPN.
It's Steve Hausman with Pat. Alex is with us, Property Source Radio, each and every Saturday morning from 9 to 10. Everything you need to know for real estate, rentals, and home improvement here at Sports Radio 950 ESPN. All during that break, Kristen and Pat are gabbing away, and I'm glad you're still here because I did want to ask you about one more aspect of, as we've learned so much about this morning, staging your home for sale. And this may be the worst situation for a home buyer.
Yes.
You go into a house and you find out, oh my God, smokers live here.
Yeah.
What can you do about that? See, because if I was looking for a house, that would be a deal breaker. I don't want to live in a house where smokers are.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a couple things you can do. First of all, what you need to do, it goes back to the seller. Do you want to sell your house? What you need to do, smoke is so bad once it gets into, with our inventory, I won't put something of mine in a house when some people smoke because it's ruined. You need to really look. You need to stop smoking in the house. You need to go through anything that's cloth. You need to clean it. You need to have your rugs cleaned, your curtains, get them out of there, replace those. And you need to have a friend that's very blunt, that you can trust, that it's going to offend you, but you love them and you don't care. Mm-hmm. Look at the walls. Can you tell on the walls that there's been smoking in the room? There's also it's amazing. Certain an ion help. Yeah.
Oh, air freshener, air cleaner.
Not air cleaner.
Air cleaner.
Thank you, Pat.
I've got one of those for that scallops and bacon days, like I mentioned earlier.
It makes a big difference, and there are candles if there's been smoking going on. But the worst thing also you can do is try and cover it up with smelly stuff because you can still smell it. Mm-hmm. You need to do something about it, and you've got to always keep in mind that agents talk. You've got to take care of this before you put a house on the market. Mm-hmm. Because sure enough, like yesterday, if you're looking for a client and somebody said, yeah, I saw this one and it looks really good, but don't you dare show it because I'm going to sell it to these clients. They're also going to say the same things about houses. They're going to come back and say if they think it's overpriced, mm-hmm. if it would work.
They'll tell their client, hey, I saw that house.
They won't show it. They'll just say, okay, I'll take you to it, but I can tell you A, B, C, D.
It's just a human instinct, though.
Home staging needs to take place before you sell your house because it's a lot harder. And that's when you got to hit the market hard, right when you list it. Advertise heavily. Use your social media. Use your online presence in a big way. Stage it. Get the best pictures. You've got to give it your best shot.
I'm putting my house on Facebook. Social media?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Really?
We put it on. Our company puts you on over 20 websites. I found many online places that I can put it. I put houses on eBay.
Oh, wow.
You laugh about, what does a home seller want you to do? They want you to market your house. And you constantly hear from people, they want to blame the real estate agent. Mm-hmm. Well, this is what then I have to say. Well, I staged your house. I spent this much money buying special accessories for your house. I put it in the Property Source, which actually I get very good leads for. I put it in the DNC, 21 websites, eBay, Craigslist, on my website that gets 50, 60 hits a day. I've done an open house. I've done a broker's helping.
Wow.
Somebody trying,
That's
if
impressive.
You tell somebody that.
Then you say, what else can I do? I've done everything I can.
It's a matter of luck, but you got to give it your best shot. No, you don't want a house to smell like smoke. Forget it. You got people, you have to be able to, the people you're working with as an agent, you can't be so afraid that when you go to a house that you lose the listing that you snap a picture and say, okay, and put your sign in the yard. By the time we put like Michelle, I told you, I own the home staging business with somebody. It takes us a couple days to get one of our listings on the market. And you just have to trust people and say, guess what?
You've got a lot of work to do to prep it, to get going, to get moving.
The first time they see that house, it's staged. It's got beautiful pictures. You have an open house. You put it on those 20 websites. Give it your best shot. And no, you have to do something about the smoke if you're serious about it. If you're not serious and you don't want to sell the house, then fine.
I got to tell you a real quick story. My in-laws live in Ohio, okay? Rural Ohio a little bit. And I as an experienced realtor, I have not been a realtor in many years, since 1987 or something like that. However, my in-laws sold their house about 5 years ago, and it was about 2,000 square foot ranch. They both chain smoked in there like crazy because they didn't leave the house. They didn't have to go anywhere, right? Smelled something awful. And I went out there once on a weekend, to visit with my family and my wife's parents, and they would be smoking in the house as people are driving in the driveway. I'm like, dude, you guys got to open the window. What are you doing? I was kind of like panicking, and it wasn't even my responsibility whatsoever. And I'm like, my God, it stinks like crap in here.
Yeah, and it can get into the ducts and everything else. You've got to be super aggressive with that. And if you're not going to be, I've told people too, if you want to do A, B, and C to the house, like a house I have listed right now, they did change the kitchen countertops and the floor and this and that, and they spent X amount of dollars. If you do that, I can list your house here. If you don't do that, I can list your house here. And pre-inspections are good too, Have a pre-home inspection.
Yeah, we talked about that last week a little bit. The idea of having a pre-inspection, even if you're not planning to sell your house, you can be up to speed.
Doesn't hurt. It's a good learning experience, and you don't know what's wrong. And if you do that ahead of time, people are seeing you've taken good care of your house, you've updated it. That's a big deal.
But back to the smokers for a moment. I don't know, and I don't want to offend smokers.
No, I don't. No.
But they are some of the most defensive people on earth.
Well,
and my dad would say, I don't care whether they like it or not. I'm going to do it, and I don't care if it gets in the way of,
exactly.
My answer to that, when people either want to, not that it's right, there's always variation in how you go about listing a house. I literally, what I'll do, especially if I don't know the people, I bring in my computer, and I sit and do it with them there. I'll show them pictures in the MLS system. You can say to people the things on smoking, say, fine, but you need to understand that I'm going to limit my advertising. I'm not going to spend, it's a lot of money to put an ad in the DNC. I'm not going to spend that money every week if every feedback I get on your house says it reeks.
That's common
pet
sense.
Urine is the worst.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
That's bad from a business perspective on your end. So
it's
you
only
wouldn't...
fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. I'm willing to invest in it. That's fine. However,
yeah, exactly.
You've got to get rid of that smell, or you're gonna regret it.
True.
And again, it's about a commodity. It's not anything personal. Home staging, don't take it personally. I wrote on that too.
There's no spray. I can just, anti-smoking spray. It's not that easy.
Yeah,
I can't say I'm familiar with. I'm not familiar with that. I do know that it's shocking how well those iron.
That is true. I couldn't
really
believe
works
that.
Incredibly well.
So those things, the ionized air cleaners, I think the stand-up, you plug them in.
Yeah.
I think those actually work because
they do.
I do have one and I do use it continuously for a couple of days, like after I have a harsh cooking odor.
You got to be aggressive.
Yeah, I tell my wife to use the stupid vent fan. She doesn't do it, and then
because you call it a
but did
stupid
she cook
thing,
a nice thing? And you call the turkey dry too that you made, so you better be careful on that.
People
one.
do listen to this show. It's not just a room with four of us just gabbing here.
Guess where Pat is sleeping tonight?
Where I know.
Dear, this isn't going to be good.
In the stupid garage.
In the stupid garage.
And your kids are going to be throwing things at you too.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, it's right. We were just talking about a little saying, weren't we, Steve?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
When in doubt.
Oh, don't. Yeah, when in doubt, shut up.
Yeah. Well,
Basically,
I never exercised that. Sorry.
We've noticed that.
All right, Alex, give me an idea. How much time do we have left here before we have to get back to ESPN Radio?
We are
doing
looking
good?
at about 2 minutes.
All right. Next week, do we have anything scheduled for next week? Can we tease next week? Because I'm looking forward. I can't wait to come back. I'm having a blast today. This is fun.
I always have a blast with or without a guest, Steve. So you're going to be excited because I'm going to be here. So it doesn't matter what. I don't know who we've got next week to answer that.
We will be here next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. And every Saturday, you can also check out the interviews. You can hear if you miss Kristen at all. The interview will be available at PropertySourceRadio.com. Probably by now. You can check because she had some great advice today on staging your home. Kristen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
What's your website one more time?
Stage It, List It, Sell It with owner Michelle Wiest also.
All right. Property Source Radio every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 with everything, and I mean everything, you need to know about real estate, rentals, and home improvement.
And don't forget to pick up a Property Source newspaper.
It's got all the holiday decorating tips.
The holiday edition. It's a big deal. Go out and get it. There's a lot of listings.
And it has a nice ad for our show, too.
Yeah, you'll see a picture of Steve and I.
Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful.
Kristen, Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas
and
to
Happy
you
New
too.
Year.
And Happy New Year.
And nice job, Alex. Thanks for joining us as always.
Thank
You're a big
you.
part of the show.
Pat.
And Pat, you're the man.
Thank you.
Next Saturday, we'll be with you here at Sports Radio 950 ESPN. Have a good day.